Hi everybody, Whitney Magnuson here with a fun Tulle shaker card tutorial. So here's the card that I'm going to show you how to make today. And I'm using one of my new favorite stamp sets, Circle of Friendship. This is actually a Wreath Builder stamp set that's in red rubber, and we collaborated with Gina K Designs to bring this to you. And it's just so much fun to use. So it comes with 26 stamps, I believe, but I'm just going to choose a few. And I'm also just using 2 colors of ink today. So I'm kind of inspired by the Pantone color of the year, which is coral, and I love the combination of turquoise with it. And so, fittingly, I'm going to be using the Gina K Designs ink in Coral Wreath and another ink in Tranquil Teal. Alright, so now that we have our stamps all picked out, I have my Misty here, and this is the original size Misty, and I have the 4-inch Wreath Builder template in here. And I went ahead and I cut some Nina Solar White cardstock, and this is a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square. And traditionally, if you want your wreath to be centered, you need to start it in square orientation. But for this tutorial, I want it to be kind of flowing off of the page, and so I'm starting in diamond orientation. And you notice I'm taping down one corner here, and I'm just using my purple tape, and I'm going to keep that purple tape on that corner, because when you're using a larger piece of cardstock, you need an indicator like a pencil mark or a piece of tape to show you that that's the corner that always has to be in the template. So I just positioned my stamp, and I'm starting with the first color, which is the Coral Wreath. And here I am just moving the paper around into the next notch. So that tape is always going to be an indicator for me of where the cardstock needs to be in the template. So I'm just going to speed up the video here just so it's not super duper repetitive. I'm just rotating the paper as I go and just repeat stamping with the Coral Wreath. And you see at this point my paper is a little bit larger than my Misty. I just tuck it under the edge and it's just fine. You don't have to worry about it getting ruined or anything. It works just fine. Alright, so now I'm positioning my second stamp, and this is just like a little greenery one, and I'm using Tranquil Teal. And just doing the same exact method here, always having that same corner inside of my template in the square there. I just love this combination of colors too, it's just so pretty and works for I think all seasons. So now here's my third stamp, and we get a lot of questions. Can you stamp more than one stamp at once? You can. I never do. I kind of like to do one at a time just to kind of see how that one element is going to look before I add on others. So here's my completed wreath. Once I'm all done, I just added some small daisy flowers around in there. And now I'm just going to position my die cut. Like I said, I want this to be kind of an off-center wreath. And so I'm just positioning that die cut kind of where I want it to be and using purple tape to keep that in place. And now for the center, I'm using a stitched circle die, and I'm positioning that in the middle. Just running this all through my Big Shot, and you can see I have the center cut out now, and I have a stitched border edge here. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab some black cardstock that I already went ahead and pre-cut, and I'm going to mat my wreath on that cardstock. And I'm using my Memory XL tape runner today. I really love this tape. It's strong, and I love that it has refills, so that is what I'm using. I'm just carefully positioning that so we get a nice matted edge. And now I'm going to take that same circle die cut, and I'm going to position that in the center. But first, I'm going to take some purple tape, and I'm going to kind of create a little sandwich, or like position the the paper where it's going to be adhered to because I'm going to need to die cut through 2 layers here. So you see I have my card open, I'm positioning the die cut on the top there, and I'm going to cut through both the black cardstock and the card base. So I have a circle going all the way through. So now I can go ahead and put this inside of my MISTI and we will stamp the sentiment. I like to do this method, it's just so much easier to line up the sentiment, make sure that you have it all right and in that circle, and so this is just kind of an easy way to do it. So I'm using this one of the sentiments from Circle of Friendship here, and I'm just going to stamp that out with some black VersaFine Clear ink. This is my go-to when it comes to sentiments. It's just super pigmented and pretty. So there's the ink. So now that we have our sentiment all stamped out, we're ready to go. We can go ahead and kind of disassemble this purple tape sandwich here. We don't need that anymore. And now for the fun part, creating our little pocket shaker. So I found some Tulle around Unity the other day, and I've been really itching to use this, and I thought it would make for a fun shaker card. I think anything that you have in your collection that's even a little bit transparent is going to be really fun to do a unique shaker with. So try it out, go see what you have in your collection. So I'm just starting by grabbing that same tape roller and I'm just adding tape around the whole circle and kind of, you know, where I think the tulle is going to adhere to. Just taking my little sheet of tulle and I'm kind of stretching it over the top and really pressing down. Like I want it to be not loose or wrinkly, and so that is what I'm doing. So you see I have one layer of the tulle going on. So now for the second layer, I'm cutting a second layer of tulle that is going to fit right on top there. And I'm going to go ahead and line the entire circle and this back panel with foam squares. So when you're doing the foam squares and you're doing a shaker, you don't want any gaps. So you're going to notice that I'm positioning these right next to each other so our sequins don't pop out. And I'm removing the backing of my foam squares as well, so we're going to get ready to add the shaker part. So I'm using our Moonshine confetti sequins today. They're just like a clear, like iridescent, really pretty sequin, and they're flat. They don't have holes in them, and so I love using these for shakers. So I'm just putting a little bit of that in the center there, and I'm going to take my cut piece of tulle and position that right on top to create this sort of tulle pocket for the sequins to live in. So now I'm just going to take a scissors and I'm going to trim off some of the excess tulle just so I have room for my adhesive and foam squares for adhering the card base down to my card. So there's kind of what it will look like. So I'm going to grab those foam squares again and I'm going to line some foam squares around the edges here. And then I'm going to adhere that to my card base. We already have a guide of where the card base is supposed to be glued down because we die cut it all together. So there it is. And now for just finishing touches, I went ahead and I grabbed some black Nuvo drops and added some details around the wreath. So here's the finished card. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I challenge you to participate in our interactive card challenge going on over at the Unity Show and Tell page right now. Thanks for watching!